What about you, Peter? Now, you haven't been making any phone calls, have you?
No.
Good lad.
Oh, my sister's coming to visit this afternoon.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Well, that's dead on. Make sure you give her my regards, won't you?
Oh, yeah, I will. She still sees a lot of Steve as it happens.
Really? Well, she'll be glad to see you looking so much better, won't she? Let's keep it that way. I'd hate to see you in another hospital bed, so I would. Cheerio now.
So, you'll have to fill me in with all the factory goss. Now we're going to be workmates.
I shall do no such thing, and we're not going to be workmates. You're in packing.
What's his packing like the dregs?
Oh. Well, it's not as high up as the machinists, obviously. I mean, sewing is a skilled profession, whereas packing, well, it's just manual, isn't it?
All right. Do you not need your hands to sew, then?
Shouldn't you be getting off to work?
I will go in a minute. I just need to nip upstairs.
Oh, Tim, cover your mouth when you sneeze. I don't want to catch your germs.
It's not cold. I just can't stop sneezing. Last time we were like this is when we were little and looked after the neighbour's dog.
Shouldn't we be going? I don't want to be late on my first day.
Oh, well, it's good to see you keen. Yeah, we should be getting off.
Maybe I'm allergic to something else, like dust or something.
Well, there's no dust in this house.
Dust in every house.
Not in my house, there isn't. Oh, Michelle asked me to remind you that her windows need cleaning, so you won't forget, will you? I take that as a no.
Good luck. Oh,
It's Carla who's going to need the look, not her.
good luck.
Did Lily have you up in the night? I heard her crying.
It's a cold. You wouldn't think a tiny nose could produce so much snot.
I remember when my son was that age, we were like zombies, we were that exhausted. I used to feel like I was sleepwalking through the day.
Yeah.
You need to pick me up.
Tell me about it. Got any suggestions?
Mug of strong coffee?
That's all that's going.
Hi, love. Just making a coffee. Do you want one?
Oh, please. Do you know I've just found graffiti on the toilet door?
What did it say?
I'm not telling you, it was very rude.
Spoil spot. Rover's doors are covered in it.
You expect a better class of customer at the bistro?
Nah, they just don't make spelling mistakes.
I spent the last hour cleaning it off.
Amateurs. They should have carved it with a penknife. That's what I used to do.
Oh, it's Bob. He's replied. Well, go on, open it. What's it say?
Hi, Michael. If your dad was Keith Rodwell, then we might well be cousins, as I had an uncle of that name. Unfortunately, if that is the case, then I'm sorry to tell you that he died about 20 years ago.
Oh, Steve has got a point, though, hasn't he? I mean, Jimmy's Amy's granddad, and she hardly knows him.
And whose fault's that? His for thinking he's Jessie Flaming James.
Well, anyway, Steve's already rang the prison and booked it. He's taking her tonight.
Oh, has he told Tracy yet?
I think he's putting it off. Just like he seems to be putting everything else off these days.
How do you mean?
Well, I asked him to look through some sample business cards, you know, for the events company. And he was all like, oh, I just can't deal with that right now. I'll do it later. I mean, you'd have thought I'd asked him to design the flipping things.
Well, that's blokes for useless at multitasking, unless you count drinking beer and watching the footy.
I mean, it's hardly multitasking, is it? I mean, it's 10 seconds glancing through some cards and telling me what I thought.
You've only picked the wrong one anyway. Then you'd have had to spend ages getting him to choose the one that you really wanted.
That's true.
So you've actually saved yourself some time.
Oh, well, remind me to thank him when I see him.
Flipping heck, do women actually wear this stuff?
Just concentrate on what you're doing.
Sally prefers satin, and so does Tim, for that matter.
That's enough, thank you.
And I bet you're just cotton.
Nope, don't wear out me. Just what nature gave me.
This one's defo silk.
Right, how we doing?
Slowly.
Oh, you'll soon get the hang of it.
Oh no, I got the hang of it in the first 2 minutes. I meant slowly, as in every minute feels like an hour, and it is mind-bendingly boring.
A bit less boring than staring at a cell wall, though, eh?
I suppose.
So, have you packed up the Gunnings order?
Yep.
All right. Okay, well, you can start on the Smithsons.
Already done it.
Oh, well, that is a good start, isn't it? Okay, ladies, you can take your break then.
Yes.
And we're all coffee.
And I like mine black.
Well, that's not my job.
You don't have a job. This is community service.
And we're the community. Come on.
I'll give you a hand.
No, you won't.
No, I won't.
Well, come on then, Maddie, step to it. Sal, we nip out and get some digestive biscuits.
Feel awful now. I should have left well alone.
Yeah, you should. He wants to know about the past, any road. It's best left there.
I was prepared for it, given his age. But 20 years, he'd have been, what, 58, 59? More or less the same age as me.
Still pretty old.
I always thought at the back of my mind that... But now I'll never know him.
Well, you can still get to know him. Through his sister. I mean, what was her name? Barbara? He left you a number. Why don't you ring her?
I don't know.
Nah, you shouldn't.
Yes, he should. What harm would it do?
I'm going for a walk.
Can I have a car for 2 o'clock?
Where to?
Oh, I've got to go and visit Peter.
Oh, well, that's weird, because my dad's asked to see me tonight. And, Amy.
You what? Oh, well, he can forget that.
He's not seen her for years, and she wants to go.
Oh, right, so you've discussed this with her, have you, before consulting me?
Well, I was going to, of course I was, but then she overheard me and my mum talking about it.
Yeah, well, it's tough. It was hard enough on her when she had to visit me.
Oh, come on, it's not like she's been traumatised. Anyway, she's got a right to get to know her granddad.
No, not when he's a convicted criminal.
Well, so are you, and you're still part of her life.
Yeah, well, that was different because that was self-defence.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, he regrets all that now. The point is that your brother wouldn't be alive if it weren't for him. Surely he can have an hour with his granddaughter. I mean, she set her heart on it. If it disturbs her in any way, I promise we shall get home straight away.
Well, I'm going to have to say yes now, aren't I? Otherwise, I'll be the big bad wolf.
Thank you.
But it is just this one occasion, and only because of what he did for Peter. You make sure he understands that.
Do you have to do that? It's driving me mad. You all right? Feeling a bit edgy. Probably too much coffee. Hello.
Hiya.
Look, I'm sorry about earlier. I shouldn't have pushed you.
It's okay. So sometimes I need a good shove.
Callie, will you put that washing in for me? Did you clear your head?
And I've decided to ring her.
And you're not just doing that because of me?
No. I'd like to know more about him. All my mother ever said were bad things. But nobody's all bad, are they?
Of course they're not. So when are you going to do it?
Now, before I change my mind.
Good for you.
Hiya! Oh, hiya. I thought you'd left.
What, I rejoined?
Oh, great.
I decided it was more of an essential than a luxury. You have to look after your health, don't you? Mm-hmm. Well, besides, there is nothing better than a good old de-stress at lunchtime. Block out the sound of the machines and the incessant chatter.
That'll be more.
I mean, I love work, don't get me wrong, but sometimes, you know, you just need your own space. Right, well, yes, I'll just... I'll have one of those, please.
She always looks amazing, don't she? How old are you?
Oh, that's all right. Can I that sort of thing?
3 times in 1 week. I'm liking your commitment.
a job's worth doing.
Absolutely. Let me know.
Just checking what time you need me tonight.
Ah, well, listen, Lloyd's just texted and said he can't make it, so bang goes my lad's night out. Right?
Oh, dear.
Still, at least you don't need to babysit.
Oh, you know I love spending time with the twins.
Well, I'm not doing anything. If you fancy a drink.
You're not a lad.
Well, I could always drink pints if that makes you feel better.
Thank you, it's very nice.
Or I could pop round later with some board games and we could play them with the children.
Yeah, and that'd be great, Mary, but since Julie offered first, then if that's okay.
Good. Well, that's a date. I mean, not a date. I didn't mean it. I meant...
7:30?
Lovely.
Yeah.
So, you feeling any better?
Bit.
Oh, that's good. And how are things, you know? No more booze?
No. No, I'm in sessions with a counsellor. He's a good bloke.
Oh, that's great. Hey, you might be out in time for the wedding. Well, we can hope, can't we? Hey, I went to see the registrar the other day. Oh, I'm in two minds about her, actually. I mean, she was really nice and everything, but... Oh, she was a bit scraggy looking.
Does it matter?
Yes, of course it matters.
Okay.
I mean, there's no point in spending a fortune on the wedding and having a registrar that looks like a bag lady.
Get to have a makeover.
You know what, Peter? I don't know why you asked me here if you're going to be this miserable. I mean, why did you ask me here anyway?
It's better than staring at me dad, I suppose.
Oh, great. You know, it's not easy for me coming here. I hate these places.
Yeah, we've got something in common then.
I don't know why I agreed to let Amy come.
What?
Yeah, well, Jim wants to see her.
Yeah, I know that, but you're not going to let Jim see her, are you?
Well, yeah. I mean, Steve wore me down, going on about how Jim saved your life.
Unbelievable.
What is?
Jim. He's got everybody exactly where he wants them.
What do you mean by that? No, Peter.
That's great, yeah. Thank you. Bye then. Well, she's definitely my dad's sister, because she knew my mum's name and everything.
That's wonderful.
She's in her 70s now, but she doesn't sound it.
And your mum never mentioned her?
She said me and my mum moved away after my dad left. Never even sent a Christmas card.
So where does she live now?
That's the great thing. She's just the other side of Manchester. And she suggested meeting up tonight.
Really?
Yeah. She's going to be in the Rovers at 5:30. I'm going to meet my aunt. And it's all thanks to you.
Thirsty work, window cleaning, you know.
Is it now?
Yeah. I haven't had a drink all day.
Oh, dear. Well, we'll have to do something about that then, won't we? I'll just neck it half, because I really wouldn't want you falling off your ladders, would we?
Cheers.
You're very welcome. I'll take it off your bill.
Where's Steve?
Oh, at work, innit?
No. A 24-hour cab service and the close sign's on. He's supposed to be manning the switch.
Well, I know he rang earlier to say he was collecting Amy, but I think she'd have been back by now.
And he should have got cover.
Look, Lloyd, he's just got a lot on his mind at the minute.
Oh, and I haven't.
It's all this stuff with Jim. He's not thinking straight.
I've had enough of this. I mean, first the MOTs and now this. You got to tell him, pull his finger out.
Quite scary when it wants to be cutting.
Yeah, and talking about pulling your finger out.
Listen, if there's something I need to know, you have got to tell me, especially if it affects Amy.
It affects Steve as well. And it certainly affected me. Jim was the one who was supplying me with the booze in order to get Steve on side. That's why I gave such a good pitch, no sale, no commission. You see what I mean?
Oh, my God. Right, so Jim was the reason you ended up in hospital?
Well, I suppose you kind of could say that.
Steve thinks he's some sort of hero. And he's got Amy thinking the same thing.
You're gonna have to tell him the truth.
Yeah, and then what about you? I mean, if Steve stops coming, then Jim's gonna know that you've said something.
You have to tell him the truth. Tell him the truth.
Oh.
Steve, love, where are you? Will you just ring me back, please? No luck. No, his phone's still switched off. Just hope nothing's happened.
Barbara.
Yes. You're the absolute spit of your dad. You gave me a turn for a moment.
Sit down. Can I get you a drink?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
This is Gail, my girlfriend.
Lovely to meet you, Gail. I can't get over this. How like him you are. Last time I saw you, you were only just learning to walk.
I'd like to say I remembered you, but...
Well, you wouldn't at that age. I'm sorry about your mother. We got on all right, me and her. Well, until she...
It's okay. I know about the affair. That was why my dad left her, wasn't it?
And obviously I took Keith's side. We all did. And I suppose that's why she moved away. Can't say I blame her, really. But, oh, it would have been nice to know how you were doing.
And my dad, I never heard from him.
You didn't know where she'd taken you. She just disappeared overnight.
She never told me that. She made it seem like he wasn't interested.
Oh, he was. He was heartbroken. But in them days, it wasn't as easy to track folk down.
I wish I'd known. If I'd just tried to find him before he... We could have...
At least now you know he loved you. Oh, he did. He thought the world of you.
Thank you. You've no idea what that means. Can I ask, how did he die? It seemed so young. I'm sorry if it's too painful.
No. No, we need to talk about it. He died of heart failure. Same as our mother.
See?
She was in her 50s too. Turned out she had this heart condition, you see. Hyper something or other. They call it HCM for short.
Right.
And that's what Keith died of.
You mean it's genetic?
Oh, I'm sorry. This has been a bit of a bombshell, hasn't it? But it doesn't mean you inherited it. I mean, look at me. I'm still going strong.
Oh, freedom.
Yeah, well, not for a fortnight.
Don't spoil it, why don't you? I thought you did really well today. Yeah, right.
No, you did, didn't you, Sally?
Well, you know, not too bad considering.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going shopping, so you're gonna have to make your own tea.
Hey, I've stopped sneezing and I'm outside. It must be something in the house.
Yeah, maybe you're allergic to all the mice.
Yeah, that's not part of the food, yeah.
You've got mice?
Just a couple, Pinky and Perky. Sophie's looking after them for a friend.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, right. For a moment, I thought you meant...
What did you say that for?
Pinky and Perky.
Right, you need to go and get a couple of mousetraps and put them in the loft.
Why can't you get me? You're the one that's going shopping.
I'm not asking for mousetraps. What will people think?
That we've got mice.
Exactly. And have a look in the bedrooms as well, because there's any signs you're going to have to put them there and all.
Hey, where have you been? You've been gone ages.
I went and bought some new clothes for when I see Grandad Jim tonight. I'll show you them.
Yeah, in a minute, darling. Why don't you pop in for a second? I just want a quick word with your dad.
Look, I know I should have called, but I didn't know it'd be this long. She's just like her mother, had to try everything on in the flipping shop.
Listen, I'm sorry, Steve, but she can't go.
What? What are you talking about? You said.
Yeah, I know I said, but, I've changed my mind.
Well, you can't change your mind. She's looking forward to it, as is me dad.
Yeah, well, I couldn't give a monkeys about him.
Well, you might not, but I flipping do. It's a new start for him and for me.
Yeah, well, I think it might be a little bit one-sided.
What's that supposed to mean?
No, I'm sorry. I've made my mind up.
You know what? This is typical of you, innit? I bet you never intended for her to go in the first place, did you?
No, I did. Of course I did.
No, you didn't. You're just playing games, messing with me head. You never changed, do you, Tracy?
That is not fair. I just think it's better for Amy
If what? If she doesn't get to see her granddad, the guy that saved her uncle's life?
The guy that nearly killed him, more like.
What?
Oh, no, just forget it. I shouldn't have said
No,
anything.
we're not going to forget it. What do you mean nearly killed him?
Look, Peter told me this afternoon. It was Jim that was supplying him with the booze, dangling it like a carrot, getting him to do whatever he wanted to do.
I don't believe you.
Well, why do you think he wanted to see you? And why do you think all of a sudden he's singing Jim's praises? You've been had, Steve. By your own dad.